5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah. Ready? All right. Welcome back to No Rules. I'm Mike Timmons. This is Tyler Relph. This week we're going to be talking about the fact that the NBA is back supposedly. I mean, it's still late July, early August, but we have some things set in place that we're going to talk about and get into that. First off, we'll kind of talk about what Tyler's doing as far as training and things like that. So, Tyler, what do you have going on right now for the people?
Yeah. So we're starting, obviously backup training, both in person and online. So we're doing some NBA training in the mornings, and then we'll do some in person with younger kids in the afternoon in Dallas at Sanders Fit. And then we also are doing our Zoom sessions too, either 2 to 3 times a week. So you can write in the comments, your email if you're interested in Zoom session or also in-person sessions, and get in the lab with us, whether it be in person or in Zoom. So we're looking forward to the gyms opening back up, but obviously we want you guys to still work on your games at home. We've seen a lot of improvement, even the players that have done our Zoom sessions that are obviously in person too. So, go to hoopdynamic.com if you guys need workouts. And just comment below your email if you guys want to know more about in person and also Zoom sessions.
The one thing I will say is a lot of people from Hoop Dynamic do email us and say is there in-person training. Just to clear things up with our followers, we are based out of the DFW area. We train in downtown Dallas, Frisco, and anywhere around that area. So yes, we do in-person training. So if you're in neighboring cities, states, and you want to get some work in with Tyler Relph, he's always available for things like that. So we'll put Tyler's email in the description so you can reach out that way. Drop your email and any questions that you have.
For sure.
So we'll get to the show now. So the NBA is back.
Yeah, in 2 months. Yep.
In 2 months, right? They keep saying the NBA is back. The NBA is back. It's not back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can we get excited yet? No. Golf's back. Yep. Golf starts tomorrow.
That's great. Can we talk about NBA?
Oh, live sports. I don't know.
No, well, it's golf.
Golf's back, so I just wanted tomorrow. But we're talking about July 31st?
July 31st, yeah. So,
but ladies and gentlemen, basketball is going to be back. So let's get right into it. I'll start with this. No matter what right now, there's going to be an asterisk on whoever wins this championship, correct?
No. There'll be one if LeBron James wins it.
Only LeBron, huh?
I think so. I think if he wins, there's an asterisk right away next to it.
And he's the only player right now, right? I agree, though, too. That makes
I just think people are always going to hate on greatness. And so they'll try to put an asterisk next to his name because he's the most liked and hated basketball player, probably in this generation.
Now, let's go back to the last time there was a shortened season like this when it was the 98-99 season with the Spurs winning their first one.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
But the thing is, they didn't make an asterisk next to it. It was just like whatever. But if the Bulls would have kept their season together.
Their team together, yeah.
Yeah, their team together.
They would have won.
Yeah, but would it have been asterisk for Jordan then? Or did everybody like Jordan so much they didn't care?
I don't think everybody liked Jordan. I think there would be an asterisk there. I think there's got to be an asterisk. They've had, with anything, I think they've had 3 months off. In my opinion, there's only a few teams that can win it. So I don't know if it changes the narrative that much.
So let's set the stage here. So what it's going to be is 22 teams all going to Disney World in their own bubble. As a player for you, how much of a change is this going to be? Are these going to, how do you...
Well, it immediately changes everything because if you're going to Disney World, one, you're not nobody except the Magic. And I don't know what the rules are if they got to stay in a hotel. I'm not sure how that goes. I think they probably are going to have to, but everybody's not at home. You're not going to be at home. So this is a first time for everybody in the league. So it's more like you're back to, and a lot of these players didn't grow up doing basketball camps like that. Yeah. So it's new. I remember seeing 2 weeks at 5-star back to back and living in a dorm, whatever. But I don't think these guys it's going to be weird because they're going to be in hotels, you know.
It's almost going to look like some of that like Orlando Open Summer League stuff that they did.
Yeah, except it's going to last for, like some of these teams could be there for a couple months, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's insane.
Now, the one thing I do question is, like, I know they're all professionals, but how many of these cats are actually, like, just gamers? And, like, because of the crowd, because when the big lights come on, they perform at a high level because of that. And I think you can make this argument for all the sports. Like,
I think
how is that?
Yeah.
Like, are there specific players that you could think of right now that rise to the occasion that you might see maybe struggle in a setting like this?
I think all players, especially our great ones in the game, rise to the occasion based on atmospheres. And I think that's good. This is like a first time thing where there's not going to be crowds. There's not going to be that, you know, atmosphere, you know, like when the playoffs start.
Like, think about like a game 7. Like, what is a game 7?
Yeah, what does it even look like?
Right.
Like, there's no environment. You know, so I think these guys are going to really have to dig down deep and, you know, play for the love of the game. It's going to be like playing pickup. You know, but...
Do you think veteran leadership's going to have an effect in this situation?
I don't know if anything will. Because I don't know. It's nobody's ever been through it.
Right.
You can't sit there and you know, and say, you know, this is what we're going to deal with, because you don't know.
Like, the thing is, they're going to have it's going to be an 8-game season to finish off.
Right.
So, like, you're going to, you know, a lot of these teams they're going to be making the playoffs. So there's going to be a lot of figuring out things, like not just let's try to figure out how to play together again in these 8 games and get on a roll. It's going to be adjusting that entire environment. Yeah,
so I think what do you have? You have 7, because you have the West, you have Memphis, Portland, New Orleans, and San Antonio. And the East, you have...
It's Washington at the 9th.
Washington at the 9th, so you're just fighting for that A spot. And I think Washington's... how many games is Washington out? Washington is out 5.5 games. So, I mean, unless Orlando comes back, which is so weird because you don't know. They could easily go 2-6.
Right.
Washington goes 6-2.
Right.
And now, you know, Orlando's got to beat them twice. So I think that's the interesting part of it all.
Right. So the way, for those that don't know, there's going to be a play-in potentially for the 8th seed in both the East and West. And the way that will work is if the 9th seed is within 4 games, then they'll get a play-in opportunity.
You got to beat them twice.
With the 8th seed. But the 9th seed would have to play 2 games and beat them both times. The 8th seed twice. The 8th seed would only have to win 1 out of 2 games to make the playoffs. So I think with the West, there's teams that are within 6 games.
Portland's within 3.5. Let me see.
I know the Spurs and Phoenix.
So what you have is Phoenix is 6, Spurs 4, Sacramento 3.5, New Orleans 3.5, Portland 3.5.
Yeah. So I just feel like that's where I think, you know, maybe having more veterans on a team that's been together a little longer, has a chance to like just hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would say as a Spurs fan, that would have been a perfect opportunity for us, but LaMarcus Aldridge is out for the rest of the season, so
yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That would have been a team.
But what you have is you have Dallas, a game and a half back from both Houston and Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah, you're right. The seeding as far as within the playoffs is not obviously locked.
This isn't done, and then you have 2.5 to Utah. Denver is at the 3; they're 4 ahead of Dallas. But I mean, the seedings. When you come back, you could easily see, and this is, I don't know how this goes, but I mean, a team like the Rockets, if they come back and they don't get the rhythm right away, I mean,
they could slot, yeah.
You could lose 4 or 5 straight.
Right.
You know, but what if they have the rhythm? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things that could go on. You know, I think the interesting part to me is Memphis, Portland. And in New Orleans too, I would like, you know, I don't know how in shape Zion's going to be,
yeah.
But those are all young players, so you know you think they'd be working out and not resting.
Right.
Memphis too, and then Portland.
I mean, we're still.
If Portland gets into the play-in game, they win. That's in my opinion. You got like the best player out of the. If you go 8 and down, the best player is Dame.
Yeah, and I think Dame's one of those players that I feel very confident he can always win me a game. But I think that's the thing. A 7-game series with his size, it's just hard to like take that full load into like the Western Conference Finals. What you got? The semifinals is the furthest, or the finals last year?
Semis.
Okay, but I mean, he's a gamer that can win you a game, especially in that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
What are we today? We're still like almost 2 months away from doing this, right? Give or take.
Yeah, a month and a half, and then you have another.
So I mean, like people like Zion's gonna. I honestly think that the NBA did this format so Zion had a chance to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, they got to create revenue, right? But you don't know what New Orleans is thinking as far as like, if Zion comes back next week and is out of shape, right. 40 pounds over, you're right back to square one again.
And they can just sit him.
And they can sit him because they don't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
let's talk about another person with some injury and like some things like that with Kevin Durant. Now you have a Brooklyn Nets team that's 7th right now.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Kevin Durant's probably healthy enough to play basketball again.
Yeah, but I don't think he will.
I mean, he already said he's not playing. I mean, it's still like it's still, but I wouldn't play him. But I mean, at the 7th seed, I mean,
but I mean, if he's ready to play, what's the difference between playing him now? Unless he's not healthy and he doesn't want to do it, what's the difference between playing now and playing when the next season starts? Everybody right now has had 2 months off anyway. It's just like a new season. Yeah. So if he's healthy, I mean, it's a short season. I mean, I get it, why you wouldn't play him. But the next season starts, they're saying, December 1st? I think.
Sure.
Is what they want to do, December 1st. Okay. So, I mean, that's another, I guess 5 months away. But
now, who are some players, like we talked about Zion with his weight, who are some other players that, like, it could either go two ways. Like, the rest could have been good or the rest could have been bad. A name that I've seen a lot on Twitter right now is Jokic. Very crafty, but he doesn't have the best body. Another guy that, his body's always kind of like suspect since he's been in the league is Luka as well.
Oh, I think Luka. I think Luka's fine. That's just his body. Like Joel Embiid, I think, is another one. You don't know how much these guys have been doing. You're gonna really see, I think, and maybe you won't, but because they do have 2 months to prepare. But I think the NBA teams are gonna see when these guys come back right now who was staying ready and who wasn't.
Yeah. You're in the gym religiously with Julius Randle right now, and
he could go play. He could go play a game right now.
He's ready right now.
Yeah, but obviously they're not. But yeah, he could go and play. He could easily go and play a game right now.
Yeah.
And there's probably 85% of the league is probably that way too.
Right. They're professionals, and
they're the best players in the world for a reason, because they work. But it'll be interesting, man, and I think it's a 3-team, maybe 4-team.
Okay, so now let's get into the favorites. And we're going through this ESPN article that breaks down some of the teams that are involved. And right off the bat, you have the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I think they win the East.
Easily?
I think the only team that can play with them is Boston. I think Jason Tatum's got a chance, to be really, really good. He's
with this, I'm glad you brought up Tatum, because I feel like with a small, almost new season, I feel like there's a lot of chances for like big time individual performances.
Yeah.
Like with 8 games plus the playoffs, you don't have to be great for as long.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can always make your mark that way. To where like a lot of times we see somebody start off hot in the season and kind of just fall off.
Right, and in the way it's set up right now, Boston would play Toronto in the 2-3 matchup. And then Milwaukee would play either Miami or Indiana.
In the semi, the way, yeah.
Right, or Philly, but I think Milwaukee is head and shoulders above, but you don't know what rhythm they come back with. You don't know, if they come back hitting on all cylinders right away.
The one thing about Milwaukee that I will say, and I'm not sure who was out, who was playing, but before this got stopped, Milwaukee had lost 3 in a row, which, I mean, it's only 3 in a row, but they were 53-9 before that.
Right.
They lost 3, so I'm not sure who was out, who was not playing. Giannis might have been sitting a couple games, but still.
Yeah, but the other thing it does is the teams that were beat up, it gives them a chance to get healthy.
That's why I kind of want to talk about, not that they were beat up, but they were managing Kawhi's workload with the Kawhi and Paul George's workload with the Clippers. But also
so this helps. I think this helps Kawhi.
Yeah.
Because Kawhi went to the finals last year, so this helps Kawhi. Because I'm sure he rested and then probably, had a plan to get back in shape.
But I will say this, I do think that they were going to turn this on, because Kawhi and Paul George didn't play a lot together early on this season.
And they'll have time now.
But they were also going to have more time. They're going to try to turn it on around March, is what I was hearing.
Yeah, but now they'll get practice time.
Yeah.
So now, that, and that's one of the biggest things is that they wouldn't have been able, the way the NBA works, you don't practice a lot in the season. So they would have no practice time. Right now, if I'm the Lakers, I'm a little nervous because now the Clippers have time to get in the gym, figure out plays, figure out spacing, figure out how to play off each other. Those two have time.
That's true. You don't get to practice a lot during the season.
No, but now you do. You're almost going through the whole preseason again. The Lakers, have played, and then the other thing is this 1 seed doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Because there's nothing, there's no home court advantage, nothing like that.
No. If you're in the top 8, it doesn't matter. You're not, there's no home court, there's no, we have to go there. It's it is what it is. And so the Lakers, LeBron got the rest too, so let's not act like he, but they built up this whole lead, and it's really for no reason.
Oh, that's true. And now we get to the Lakers, who I think they have the best Vegas title odds right now based on this article at plus 200. Milwaukee's at plus 275. That's just because I think people want to bet on LeBron.
I think people want to bet on LeBron, but I think everybody's talking about it's going to either be the Lakers or the Clippers that win the title.
Yeah.
I think people really sleep on the Bucks. I think the Bucks defensively are the best team in the league. They're long, they're active. They got guys that can guard. They multiple positions. You got shooters around Giannis. I don't think whoever comes out of the West, it's not going to be like this, which I think people think it's going to be a cakewalk. I hope the Bucks come out of it because I think they can match up.
No, I agree. I just don't think they have a lot of Middleton's obviously an all-star, but if you're just a casual fan of the NBA, you don't really think about how good Chris Middleton is.
Yeah, Chris Middleton, and
I also think the narrative with Giannis is people say he can't shoot. So a lot of people probably think that in a 7-game series, you can find a way to take something away from him and learn, which might happen.
Yeah, you might happen, but Giannis has gotten better
from
the 3-point line, and it's the rest of that team that has to play well. The Lopez, especially Brooke has to shoot it well. George Hill has to shoot it well.
Bledsoe has to
be, a very good version of himself. And then their bench has to, hold up.
Speaking of bench, I think that's going to be another key situation where, as a bench man or a 6-man, you come onto the court with almost an energy. I remember Spurs fan. When Ginobili would check in any Spurs game, obviously you know what you were getting, but the crowd had a different energy to it too.
Yeah.
And you knew if you were down quick in a game and all right, here comes Ginobili, now we have a chance. It's all about a mindset. And I know.
Yeah, and I think we're the part that I hate is we're losing, which I was gonna hope to be Lakers Clippers in the West Finals. In the crowd.
Yeah.
LA versus LA. We're gonna miss that.
Right.
And that sucks. because I think that for basketball would have been nuts. I don't know. I think that never happened before, but I mean that would be crazy.
Right.
And so you're missing that now, if that's what happens.
I know it's not the same venue, but was there ever like a Knicks and Nets type situation?
I don't know if I think they maybe played in like the first or second round with New Jersey. But it wasn't like this. It wasn't like you got the best two players in the world going against each other. Where you have Lakers, Clippers, you have Kawhi versus LeBron.
Yeah.
Definitely nothing like that.
So I'll bring up this team. I know you wanted to talk about them. I'm not sure what you wanted to say about them, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that team down in Houston, the Rockets. Very interesting team, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Almost not talked about that much. What are your thoughts?
Because they're not good enough. They rely on, and it's their system. That's what they want to do. They want to shoot 43s a game, but they rely a lot on one-on-one, and if James Harden misses 5 in a row in the playoffs, if you're playing like, let's say they get the 5 seed and they're playing Utah, you might be down 10 right away. Right. And Utah's really good defensively, and they're with Rudy at the rim, they can funnel you into different things. I just don't like Houston. I don't.
I'm just looking.
I think they take turns. You can't take turns.
I'm just looking for narratives and star power to carry a situation in a variable situation like what we have with this. If it's not those two with Houston, let's give me another like wild card team that could make a run, based on what we're looking at here.
See, I would have more confidence in Dallas. Okay. I think Luka, at least, like, he plays more on the ball screens, movements, stuff like that. So
honestly, the way Luka plays and carries himself, I could see Luka doing the same thing at an open run that he does in the NBA, just the same pace, nothing really different.
Yeah, he's a pace. Yeah, and but he can see the game. Like, he makes you guard the whole court. James Harden, at times, like, his teammates sit there and literally watch him dribble for 15 seconds. And in the playoffs, like, I just don't see that working. And I don't think they're as deep as they used to be. I don't think, you don't have Trevor Ariza anymore. You don't have Clint Capella anymore. You don't have these dudes. You still have PJ Tucker.
So how many games did they, after they traded Capella at the trade deadline, how many games did they play after that? I mean, because where they were playing PJ Tucker at the 5 and there was that whole thing. I mean, it hasn't been enough to really.
Yeah, and then you got you have what's his name, who's really good. He came from played with Philly, played with oh my gosh. Let me see. Robert Covington.
Okay, yeah.
Who I really like. You have Eric Gordon, but I don't think Jeff Green is good enough right now to be something. So I mean, if you look down the roster, Tyson Chandler's old, DeMar Carroll's old, 33. Tyson Chandler's 37. Covington, I think, is a great pickup. Gordon, Russ, James, PJ Tucker. And then, I mean, McLemore, Austin Rivers, House. Like, they don't have, they have all, like, they're all the same.
Right.
And you just don't, I don't know.
Okay, so you like maybe Dallas as a sneaky in the West. I'm looking here. Let's talk about OKC Thunder with veteran leadership and just kind of a team that just all kind of plays together. I mean, because everybody was feeling bad for Chris Paul. Like, he's out in OKC and they're just about to waste the season. But now you have
Well, Chris makes everybody better. Chris can carry a team because he can play in the ball screens and he can make reads, and he's one of the top 5 competitors in the league.
And I think being a competitor like that is going to help in the situation.
Yeah, Chris will never have a problem with this.
Right.
Because whenever he plays, he's going to try to go at you.
Yeah.
He's the same mold as like the Kobe's and the Jordans. Like he's that type of competitor. I just think, I don't think they have enough firepower.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is, you can say what you want about his offensive game, but Roberson's back for them.
Oh.
Which will help as a defensive side of things.
Kind of.
Okay. Well,
San Antonio guy, I get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. But yeah.
Okay.
Move on.
It's not a move on thing, honestly.
It's a very move on.
It's not, because
Roberson's a move on.
no, it's not. You've seen him the way he's guarded, and the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
that's
can't-
one thing
yeah,
that
the other
is going
side.
to help for OKC. Who else do you want to talk about on this list of teams?
I think
Denver is interesting because they play at their home court advantage is different from a lot of people just because of the elevation.
very different. Well, all these guys, all these teams, the home court is such a big thing. You know, Portland, great home court.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers, Clippers, obviously you know what that is. Milwaukee has become one of the, tougher places to play. So obviously, it doesn't matter in Boston. Same thing, Boston is, I think Boston is my sleeper out of the East.
What do you think about Miami?
I don't know if they're a sleeper, but I like Miami. I just don't think Miami has enough. I would take Philly over Miami.
Yeah. Do you think 8 games is going to be enough to see some teams like position themselves and like move into the pack of possibly, like, let's say like Miami or Boston and go 7-1? Will that be enough to like position themselves in a situation and be like, okay, like they really have a chance to compete for a title now?
Well, I think Boston's in it
Yeah.
because they're the 3.
Right.
So you played the 2, which would be Toronto, which I think they match up favorably with Toronto.
You're just saying if you get to the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference Finals, you're in it. Is that what?
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah. Regardless of.
I think
Milwaukee.
Philly has more of a chance just because they have some experience with it. Not Jimmy Butler obviously does, but the rest of that Heat team doesn't. It's all going to be. I mean, I would go Milwaukee, Boston. I would actually probably put Philly at 3. I don't know why. I just think talent level.
Ben Simmons in that weight room.
Yeah, that's fine. And Toronto would be my 4. And then Miami 5 probably out of the East. But I think Boston has a chance. It would be my sleeper in the East, I think, even though I wouldn't call him a sleeper. I think Philly just, I don't think they play well together to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Right, with that foot, working on my shift, loading to my left, and pulling that ball back across. We're really working range of motion right now with our handle, so we're gonna go 20 reps right, 20 reps left right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Talk about the West side of things. You kind of just gave your power rankings for the East. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of time to go, like July 31st. Basketball's not here yet, but just really look at just kind of where everything left off at. Now let's go to the West.
So I would go Clippers before Lakers. I think the Clippers, the time they'll have to try to get to know each other. But I also, like, my biggest thing with the Clippers is their bench. Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell. Those guys are phenomenal.
I think having Montrezl Harrell and like a Pat Beverly on the court in an environment, I keep going to the environment of just a no environment. Having players that just play hard regardless of the situation are going to help, and you have the best in that when it comes to that.
Yeah, they're going to compete no matter what. Montrezl gives you energy. If you watch him in a pickup game like in LA, like he plays the same way every time. So he'll energize the guys. I think the Lakers just don't have a bench. They're just not, not there yet. So I would go Clippers over the Lakers a little bit.
I haven't heard yet. DeMarcus Cousins possibly coming back.
Really, I don't know.
I mean, there's a chance.
I don't think that.
You don't think
that doesn't change anything to me?
It's not really DeMarcus Cousins that.
That's not the way the league is anymore, and I don't know who DeMarcus Cousins is at this point in his career, where that would push that narrative. Like if DeMarcus Cousins came off the Laker bench, I still would give the Clippers a major edge. Major.
DeMarcus Cousins is waived, by the way, but I mean they could still.
Yeah, you could still. Yeah. I mean, somebody might try to pick him up.
Right.
Then I go Denver, Utah, and then I would go Dallas before OKC and Houston. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Luka's really good. I think he's the one guy that can make everybody better. I think a lot of times, like, people say James Harden's a great passer. Sometimes if you watch it, it's by default.
Right.
Like, he's bop, 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 and, last second throw it to somebody. And you can't really get a flow as a player playing with that way.
Yeah.
Like I remember one of the last games we saw Houston versus the Knicks. And in the first half, the Knicks were up 24 because Houston was doing all, and against the playoff team, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they have the firepower.
Yeah.
I'm not a Houston fan.
Yeah, we've heard you're not a Houston fan.
Yeah.
We get
not
it.
watch them win the NBA Finals.
So
we'll have to end this podcast.
Let me ask you this question: out of the 4 teams in the West, Portland, the Pelicans, the Kings, and the Spurs, and Phoenix, so 5, who has the best chance if they make the playoffs to go to the second round?
Portland for sure.
Yeah, I think that's really a no-brainer.
But nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not beating the Lakers.
And now looking at this, I guess really Orlando and Brooklyn, they're close. They're half a game.
Yeah.
Is there any way that Orlando jumps Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think of course. It's a half game, so it all comes down to schedule, and then it comes down to who's healthy, and
So speaking of,
if Kyrie comes back,
right,
they might drop out of the playoffs completely. What? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Speaking of schedule, so the way the schedule will work, I'm probably going to butcher the way I say this, but it's going to be very important down the stretch because any team that's on a team schedule that's been eliminated already, they'll just drop. So then you'll scoot up the next team that's actually going to be in Orlando. So when the actual schedule, is it out yet?
Mm-mm.
Have they put it together? I mean, so yeah, some of these teams could have just a brutal schedule.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it does come down to schedules and who plays who, and you don't know if Memphis plays Portland a couple times, and I don't know how the schedule is.
It's going to be some weird situations because if you
it could be like a 4-team playoff in the West for the AC, and then how do you do that?
Right.
That's my question is if you have, say Memphis is the 8, then you have, let's say, Portland, New Orleans, and Phoenix.
Why wouldn't you just say San Antonio?
I'm going to try to keep San Antonio as much as possible.
Okay.
I feel like Phoenix is just a better, better organization than the Spurs. Okay.
You lost your train of thought?
Yeah, that was an asinine comment I just made. So that's going to be interesting. Like, who plays who? How do you do that?
Right. I don't know.
Well, right.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they have some dates and that we have basketball coming soon. So let's talk about the environment of Disney World. Mm-hmm. When I mean environment, I mean like there's going to be
on rides.
There's going to be a small bubble. So I'm not sure what families can get in, what girlfriends can get out, but I just do think that there's an opportunity for trouble. And not like trouble, like, oh, like, but I mean, there is. I mean, what do you think about that environment as far as from maybe a player's perspective?
Well, by the time the NBA is back, Orlando will be completely open. So I don't know what the NBA's rules are as far as like, I mean, you can't keep NBA players like, hey, you can't go here or you can't leave the resort. I don't think.
Well, like with boxing, what they're doing is like they're doing like different cards at MGM Grand right now. And like when the boxers get there that whole week, they can't, there's like in a specific bubble.
So, I mean, I would think that would be the same way.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Right.
People are getting, there's no way some of those young guys can do that. That'd be interesting. But you would think that like for a couple months that guys can do that. But I don't know. But they've already been pent up.
True.
You know what I mean? They've already been like, I mean, we know how it is. We're in Dallas. As soon as it opened, it was like, all right, let's go eat. Let's go.
Right.
I don't know if teams will have certain rules or if the NBA is like, look, this is our bubble. You got to keep it here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, man.
I don't know.
There's like a lot of like the documentaries and stuff off this time are gonna be pretty cool. I think if you get a lot of behind the scenes and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that behind the scenes,
Like for any NBA players out there that are watching and following Tyler, this would be a great time to like just have a camera and just record everything.
Yeah, for sure.
D'Angelo Russell, is he still in the playoffs? He'll be good at recording stuff.
Who does he play for now? Minnesota. He's out.
Oh, damn. We won't get a lot of behind the scenes stuff
Yeah.
in the NBA. So right now, early June, let me hear your finals and then your prediction.
The NBA Finals or the
NBA
East
finals.
Conference?
NBA.
Finals. Woo!
Early June. We usually got time. But let's just put it on the board.
Clippers Bucks.
And give me the series and how many games. Who wins?
I think the Clippers win in 6.
There you have it. Clippers in 6, early June prediction from Tyler Relph. YouTube, go ahead and bring up some thoughts and some key points that we may have missed and like some variables of why you think a certain team might ascend into, deep in the playoffs. Just talk about some narratives. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's get the conversation going on YouTube. And as always, I'm Mike Timmons. This is Tyler Relph, and that was No Rules.
That was her.